My name is Dr. Tushar Mehta. I'm from Canada, and I did my residency there in family medicine. I've also practiced addictions medicine, and I've mostly practiced emergency medicine, or what you call A&E in some countries. I have an interest in international health, and I do work in India and a few other places. And on top of that, I have a strong interest in plant-based diet and health. So when I say plant-based diet and health, you can also say vegan diet and health. And I'm here on behalf of Hina Modi and plantshift.com. There are various studies that show that, hey, fish is beneficial. But the question is, what are you comparing the fish to? If you're comparing somebody who's eating a standard American diet where they're having a lot of meat, and somebody else who eats fish and they're eating very little fish, maybe the fish is better compared to the meat, but is it better compared to a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet? So those are study parameters you got to look at. If something says fish is beneficial, it's beneficial in comparison to what? What is it being compared to? Okay, because in many cases, it's just being compared to a standard American diet or a standard European diet, but they don't have a subgroup of vegans or vegetarians they're comparing to. So we're going to question all those kind of things. When we look at these studies about plant-based diet, we're looking at studies that compare. They actually have a group of people in many cases that are vegan or vegetarian. So now there are two particular studies that I want you to make the audience aware of here, and that is the Adventist group of studies and the EPIC Oxford group of studies. The Adventist number 1 and Adventist number 2, which is still ongoing, are studies done in California on Seventh-day Adventists. Actually, may even be beyond California. And Seventh-day Adventists are a religious group in the United States, and there is some philosophy of vegetarian in their culture. So a percentage of them are vegan, vegetarian, sometimes semi-vegetarian. People sometimes eat just fish, the fish eaters, and also people who have more of a standard diet. So that's a very interesting group of people that they've been studying for a long time. In the Second Adventist group, they have tens of thousands of people enrolled in it, as well as a proportion of vegans, which are hard to study in most cases because there just aren't that many of them around. But in that case, in the Adventist group, there are. And what they do is check about their other characters, so other aspects of their health, socioeconomic status, and so forth are very similar, so they're a great population to study in that respect. The other group is a European group. There's the EPIC trial, so the European Prospective Investigation into Cancer. It's a 10-country study that's occurring in Europe, and they're looking into cancer and other diseases. But the branch that is in the United Kingdom, in the UK, they're actually having a significant group of vegans, vegetarians, fish eaters, and people on standard diet. So that's also very interesting group of people to study. So a lot of studies coming out of there, out of these two places, to compare vegans, vegetarians, and fish eaters and whatnot to each other and find out who does better in terms of health parameters in the long run. So now one thing about those group of studies also is that the people who consume animal products in those studies actually consume very few animal products. In the California group or in the Seventh-day Adventist group, the people who do eat sort of a standard American diet have less than half the meat consumption of the usual American population. So they're having a very low meat diet, and probably the same is true. There's something similar true in the in the EPIC studies as well, although there's a bit less information about that. And in both groups, you have people who eat fish, but they don't have so much meat. Now, the definition of eating fish in the Adventist group is just that they consume it at least once a week. So these people are pretty much 95% vegan, maybe even more than that, just with some small amount of fish per week in some cases. Some may eat more, some eat less, but it's a very small amount of fish. So it's like trying to check if smoking harms you, but comparing the non-smoker to somebody who just smokes one cigarette per day. You may not get a difference. You may not find a health outcome, because the difference is so narrow, it's almost like they're the same. So those are some of the challenges faced when you're doing these big studies and comparing these different groups, is sometimes there's not enough consumed in one group to see if it makes a difference one way or the other. If the fish is beneficial, it would be hard to see if it is beneficial. If there's a detriment, it would be hard to see there's a detriment as well, because it's so close to the vegan group. In comparison to each other, it's hard to see. So The references for every single video that I have are going to be downloadable from the description box, where you can click and download the entire set of references, and then just scroll down to the relevant references. If it's a video on diabetes or cancer or something like that, scroll down to the relevant section and take a look at the references that I'm speaking about. In my videos, I'll generally discuss one reference, but it's going to take too long to discuss 10 references and you'll be bored out of your mind. So I'll discuss one, and then you can go into the reference list and look at more references that are talking about the same topic. And it's important not just to have one reference, but to have multiple references that discuss a topic, because then you're seeing that different studies are being done in different places by different people, and they're getting similar results that are reinforcing each other. Okay, so that's another good thing to look at. I want to also mention some of the people that I look to for nutritional information and learn things from, and get some of my references from. So Dr. Michael Greger, nutritionfacts.org. It's a great place where you can go to find more information on plant-based diet and health, and many good references there. Jack Norris, RD, he's a registered dietitian, and his website has also lots of great information, and super smart guy. And PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, Neil Barnard's website, is also a great website with a lot of people who's got their PhD and their physicians and whatnot, gathering research and sometimes doing research on plant-based diet and health and publishing and so forth. And they've got a great set of information on their website and a lot of practical tools as well.